Okay. The DG Lagos State Safety Commission, ably represented by Shewa Wujobi, Mr. Lanre Mojola, the Director, Public Health and Wellbeing, Mrs. Ipaye, my amazing safety professionals in the building, amazing speakers from across different time zones, but you still made our time to be here. To our parents, our teachers, school owners, educators, concerned citizens, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th edition of the annual School Safety Summit. It's been a journey, but quite an interesting one. So thank you so much for choosing to join us on Saturday. We know how Saturdays can be, but you are here. You've chosen to spend your time with us. Thank you to everybody on Facebook. Thank you to our amazing speakers. And to Abigail, thank you for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And to the amazing team members who worked with me behind the scenes to organize this edition. Thank you. Mary, Edosa, Fisayo, Diola, Atinuke, Adam, thank you so much for the amazing work you do behind the scenes. So my speech is going to be in about 3 parts. We'll have introduction, talk about an attempted kidnap, and then of course, digital wellness, which is the angle I'll be speaking about this theme from. So I noticed that we had a lot of new people. When I went through the attendance list, I noticed that there were many people who are just interested in our summit for the first time, and that's a good thing. And then of course, we had many returning participants, and we also saw that shown in the polls. So how did the School Safety Summit start? It started from a conversation with my coach, Mr. Retime Itayo, on the gaps. And I wanted to do something to bridge the gap. So the School Safety Summit came about as an opportunity for stakeholders to come together, identify challenges in the safety systems in schools, and provide solutions to them. So in 2017, we started with the theme, Is Your Child Safe in School? In 2018, we took it a notch higher, Emergency Response Preparedness for Schools. In 2019, working with the US State Department and members of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, we organized safety and education of the child with special needs. And then in 2020, COVID came, and we were thinking, are we going to scrap this or what are we going to do? But we pivoted and did it fully online. And the theme for that was first aid and casualty assessment for educators. Now here in 2021, the theme is online safety and online education opportunities and risks. And this theme is really important because the whole world was thrown into moving everything online because of the pandemic. And whether you were ready or not, you just had to move. This meant that there were many people who moved without necessarily being prepared. And so they encountered certain kinds of risks. And that's why today we brought together the finest cybersecurity experts and educators so that they're going to be sharing with us important tips. Now, our keynote speaker, Dr. Joseph Allen from Harvard University, he's here with us. And the reason he's here is he's not speaking to online safety, but he's speaking to the angle of COVID-19 and school safety. And that's because we are still in a pandemic. No matter how it looks, we are still in a pandemic, and it's important that we are aware of newer insights and know how to protect our schools. So he's up very early, but he's here because this is an important conversation to have. Then the next thing I would be talking about now is the importance of an event like this, because you never really can know too much. You never really can have too much knowledge or too much event or too much people know. It's very important that at every point in time, we keep on sharing, because for many people, that may be the first time they may be coming in contact with that information. Initially, I had prepared my speech around the online safety and online education theme, but something happened on Thursday in Nigeria. Someone sent me a WhatsApp video, and in that video, someone had attempted to kidnap children from school. I had written a comment about it on a popular blog on Instagram, but I just thought, okay, why not talk about it here? That's the reason we're here, right? To exchange knowledge, to bridge knowledge gaps. And I decided that I was going to talk about it first before I move on to digital wellness. So in this video of this attempted kidnap, someone came into school posing as a parent and wanted to pick up children. And the reason we're talking about this is because this is something that can happen in any school. When I saw that video, the first thing that came to mind was, what is the access control and pickup procedure in this school? It doesn't look like anything like that even exists. Now, walk with me through a process. If you went to someone's office and you wanted to see the CEO, Would you just walk through the gate and shop inside the CEO's office? It most likely doesn't happen that way. What happens is you get to the gate, the security man asks you some question, then maybe he directs you to the receptionist. The receptionist might ask you to fill a form or put a call through to a PA. The PA has to do some certain checks before you finally arrive inside the CEO's office. Now, even when that happens, sometimes as you're walking through those offices, you might see some doors with certain stickers saying unauthorized persons cannot go beyond this point, or this place is only accessible to staff with ID. If you have ever seen something like that before in any office you went to, please say that for me in the comment section. I want to see that we all understand what I'm talking about. You've seen those posters, stickers on doors that says unauthorized persons cannot go beyond this point, or staff can only access this part with ID cards. And okay, yes, Tola says, oh yes, and that's it. And that's because access control is very important. You do not want people who are not a part of your system to go into restricted areas. So there are some important considerations you must have as a teacher or as a school owner to ensure that something like this does not happen in your school. The first thing is you must have an existing access control and pickup procedure. It's not enough to have it, you must communicate it to your parents. And it's very important that you even have this at the point of enrollment, at the point of admission of those students. You know why? When someone is trying to bring their child into your school and you let them know this is how we operate here, and they agree and they sign, it's easier for you to enforce it with them when they're in your system, as opposed to if you just wake up one day and you spring it on them. So somebody might be thinking, okay, so what about me? I don't have it. We have admitted the student. What do we do? It's never too late. What's important is that you create this procedure and you must communicate it through your defined communication pathways to your parents. So do you use emails and newsletters to reach out to your parents? Do you operate WhatsApp groups? Depending on what works for your unique situation, it's important that you communicate this procedure to your parents. You might now be thinking, so what happens when the approved parents cannot show up to pick up the child? That clause must also be included in your procedure, where you are saying, if for any reason you are not able to show up to pick up your child, this is what you are supposed to do. So I know of a school where if the approved adult is not available to pick up the child, they have to call the school authority and send a name and a picture of the person coming to pick the child. The reason this is important is somebody can come and claim a name of a family member, right? But if the name and the picture does not match with what you're seeing in front of you, of course, you know that's a problem. So this is just an example. What is really important about safety precautions is that you domesticate it to suit your own unique context. So you must have access control and pickup procedure in your school. The next thing is you must have a designated pickup area within your school, and you can do it creatively. You can use furniture to segregate that area, or use people, which is security personnel. You can use tools, barricades, and little gates, fancy gates here and there, to make sure that people are staying within that designated area. The reason is to prevent trespassing, and so that you can monitor what is going on in that area. It's also important for you to leverage security personnel and tools, so CCTV cameras, ID cards, just ensure that you have those tools in place. Now, one of the major concerns about pickup procedure is the fact that, oh, won't it take time? There will be traffic. Everybody wants to pick up their child at the same time. This is why if you have communicated it earlier, everybody would manage, because you understand that it is for their child's safety. So you've got to work out what way can we reduce traffic depending on our own unique school's context. So for a school, a small school, it can be as simple as the class teacher physically handing over the child to the parent. In a bigger school, it can be that before you are even allowed access into the designated pickup area, you show a particular ID card. So you've got to ask yourself, for my unique school, for my unique situation, what can make it easy for traffic, ease of traffic? And then it's very important that training, and compliance with procedure. Now, when we talk about training, people think it's just to train the security personnel. No. You've also got to train your staff. The video that went viral on Thursday, you could see that even the staff, they're not really sure of what they're supposed to be doing. The reason training has to happen along a value chain is so that even if someone is a weak link somewhere, another person can catch it. Do you see what I mean? So it's really important that we bear all this in mind. So switching back to our theme for this year's episode, I'll be coming from the angle of digital wellness, because the cybersecurity experts we have on ground, they are fully able to cover the other aspects of things. So what is digital wellness? And digital wellness is something that's currently being propagated by the Digital Wellness Institute. And digital wellness is basically about one state of physical, emotional, and mental well-being in a technological world. You would agree with me that there was a time a lot of people started to have Zoom fatigue, because there were just too many things happening online. So how do you ensure that you are safe as a whole being, not just in one aspect? Many times we focus on just one aspect, which is the digital citizenship, and we leave other areas. So that is about digital wellness. And the team at Digital Wellness Institute have been propagating what they call a digital flourishing wheel. It's a wheel with 8 parts that speaks to how you can use this technology, digital tools, to ensure that you are a well-rounded being. You use it for the positive aspect and reduce the negative aspect of things. One part in that digital wheel is for productivity. So which means you've got to use digital tools to ensure that you are focused and minimize distraction online. For so many of us, our phones are always beeping, there's always so much going on. Instead of being at the mercy of these digital tools, use it for your productivity. The next one is the environment. When we talk about environment in terms of online safety and in the digital world, people just think it's the online environment alone, but no. Even your physical environment where you're going to be having that online education or online learning. So when the pandemic started, we had a case of so many children using their parents' workstations or using the dining table areas. And because their bodies were too small for this, it caused a problem for the, I got a bit distracted because of digital flourishing. We know I can see that Edosa has put it on the screen. Yes. So they got a bit, it was affecting their bodies because it was not suitable for their body size. So you must ensure that the furniture you are using is not undersized and it's also not oversized when the person that is going to use it is going to use it. So whether it's a child or even you, the teacher, because you're going to be spending long hours in that place. So your environment is very important. Another thing that is important is communication. You must ensure that you are a socially responsible communicator when you are using digital tools. It shouldn't be that someone finishes talking to you and then their whole day is messed up. No bullying, no using of wrong words. So you must communicate. And then the next one is relationships. Relationship is so important. You can use digital tools to enhance the relationships and connections, community that you have with other people. So right here, some of our panelists, we have Theo from Rwanda and we have Jane from Kenya. We met physically in 2018 on the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And since then, we haven't seen in person, but we've been in touch. Our relationship is still beautiful. I still saw Janet like 2 weeks ago, of course, on Zoom, not in person. I still saw Tioneste about 4 weeks ago. So use digital tools in terms of for building and enhancing your relationships. It's also important that you use it to boost your mental health. For many people, digital tools do the opposite. It erodes their mental health. How about you take breaks when you need to take breaks? How about you use it for inspiration, for creativity, as opposed to feeling overwhelmed, as opposed to comparing yourselves with strangers online who are only showing you the best parts of their life? So you must use it to enhance your mental health. And then the next part of that wheel is physical health. So many people wake up and the first thing they're doing is their phone screens are on their faces, the lights on their face, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. They are also hunched in several ungodly positions and spending too much time. You've got to be willing to take breaks. From time to time, get up from your workstation, do some stretches, take a walk, and also ensure that you are protecting your eyes because of the rays. Aside physical health, another part of that wheel is what we call quantified self. And quantified self basically speaks to how you can use the tools, health tools available on these digital tools to help yourself. So for example, one of my phones is an Android phone and there's something called Samsung Health on it. And with that, I'm able to track my steps. It counts my steps, tells me how much calories I've burned, and just basically ensuring that I'm not living a sedentary lifestyle. So you see, you've got to use these tools to your own benefit. And this is how you should also communicate about it to your children, to your students. Let them try to use it to their advantage as opposed to being overwhelmed and bogged down by this. And last but not the least, which is the most popular one, is digital citizenship. How are you ensuring your privacy and your security online? How are you ensuring that you have positive digital footprint? And how are you ensuring that you are a conscious content consumer? Many of us are sharing all sorts of stuff online. And for some other people, you're even the one distributing. Very recently, we had the case of people sharing videos of children having sex all around in the name of creating awareness. No, you can create awareness without sharing those videos, because what you are doing is you are sharing child pornography, and that is wrong. And your children can see these videos on your mobile device, and that's content risk to them. They are seeing things that are not age appropriate, and it's not safe. So in all this, we must be intentional about how we spend our time online. Always ask yourself, what are the things you should do most times, more times, sometimes, and less times? So for more times or most times, use it for learning, creativity. For more times, use it for enhancing relationships. For sometimes, okay, you can play games, you can listen to the news, and for less time, do not compare yourselves to strangers online. So I've said quite a bit, and I have to hand over now to Mary so that our keynote speaker can come on board. Once again, welcome to the School Safety Summit, and I hope that you enjoy your time here with us and you learn so much you can begin to implement right away. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you very much, Ugochi. That was very precise and concise as well. Thank you so much. I am so sure that we are learning something already. I, for one, I'm beginning to pick one or two things. I've learned quite a number of things today. Before I hand over to our keynote address speaker, I would like to ask another question for our host today. Please let everyone just know, like I said earlier, in case you are just coming in, after every address, after every session, there's going to be questions that will be posted to the post section. Please just give your answer, give an accurate answer. Because we have a lot of people connected at the same time, it's going to be fastest finger for picking winners. And like I said, we have a lot of items lined up for as gifts for the winners. And this gift is going to be profitable to practically everybody on board, whether you're in Nigeria or not, because the gifts will be online. It'll be online. We have online courses on safety mastery for schools. We have online courses on building an intentionally recognizable personal brand. And we have 10 ebooks on personal branding. So you see, you have good, wonderful packages for you to win, courtesy of the safety chick. So the question I'm going to ask him from her own section now is, she stated that there's a must-have for schools when setting up security measures. There's a must-have for schools. There were two points that she gave that schools should note when setting up security measures for the betterment of their students, the parents alike. Kindly state either in the comment section or in the polls, and we'll pick our winner from there. I'm expecting 2 answers for this because there are 2 points that she noted. Thank you very much. Right about now, I'll be calling on Dr.